Okay, right. Hello, everyone. A very warm welcome to the third and the final session of our Imperial Undergraduate Summer Schools Information webinar. I'm Betty Yu, Director of Professional Development and Summer Programs at Imperial Lifelong Learning, and we are delighted to have you with us today. So please note that this webinar is being recorded and the recording will be made available to all registrants after the session. So if you miss anything or would like to revisit any part of the webinar, you'll be able to do so at your convenience. And whether you're joining us from the UK or from overseas, we hope the session will give you a clear insight into what makes our summer school such a unique and valuable opportunity for undergraduate students. Next slide, please. So for those who may be less familiar with Imperial, we are a world-leading university specializing in science, technology, engineering, medicine, and business, and often referred to STEM-B. Currently ranked second in the world and first in the UK and Europe in the 2026 QS World University Ranking. We are very proud to be recognized globally for our academic excellence and innovation, and also to be part of a truly vibrant international community based in the heart of London. Next slide, please. So today's sessions will begin with a brief overview of Imperial Summer School offering, followed by short introductions to 5 of our summer schools academic leads who are joining us today. And they are Dr. Mark Kennedy on Data Science and AI, Dr. Panfei Mi on Design Engineering for Innovation, Professor Washington O. on Emerging Technologies in Global Security and Resilience, Dr. Susan Mackay on Design for Global Challenges, and Dr. Gregory Thiel on Startup Launchpad. And each speaker will give a snapshot of what you can expect from their summer school. And after the introductions, we will open the floor for a Q&A session. So please feel free to post your questions in the chat at any point during the webinar. But before we dive into the individual program, let's start with a quick look at what the Imperial Summer Schools are all about. Next slide, please. And next slide, please. So our summer schools are immersive 2-week learning experience designed for undergraduate students and some for postgraduate students as well from the UK and around the world. They focus on STEM subjects that's science, technology, engineering, medicine, and business, areas where Imperial is recognized as a global leader. You learn from our leading academics, engage with cutting-edge research, and gain first-hand insight into some of the latest innovation and ideas that are shaping our world. And each program combines hands-on project-based learning with real-world challenges, giving you the chance to work in interdisciplinary teams while also developing your critical thinking, problem-solving, and collaboration skills. And you also get to take part in a career planning workshop to explore career pathways, build employability skills, and prepare for your future. And beyond the classroom, you will also experience student life at our South Kensington campus in one of London's most vibrant and historic districts, and surrounded by some of the world-famous museum, which is really just stone throw from the university. And of course, there's a social side too. So with organized activities, bringing together students from different summer schools, giving you the chance also to build global friendships and explore some of London's iconic landmarks. Next slide, please. So as you can see, we offer a wide range of summer school for you to choose from. So today, our speakers highlight 5 of these programs. Whatever your interest or academic background, we're confident there's a program here that will both challenge and inspire you. Now that you've had an overview of the opportunities our summer schools offer, I'm delighted to introduce you to 5 of our summer school directors behind the program, and each speaker brings a wealth of expertise and insight, and they're here to give you a flavor of what you can expect from the summer school. So first, we're going to start with the Data Science and AI Summer School. Data science and AI are transforming every sector from finance to healthcare by enabling smarter data-driven decisions. And organizations worldwide now are seeking graduates who can apply statistics, machine learning, and AI to solve complex problems and anticipate future risks. And to tell you more, I'm delighted to hand over to Dr. Mark Kennedy, Director of Data Science Imperial. And over to you, Mark.
Thanks very much, Betty. Hi, everyone. I'm Mark, and I've been leading the DSI at Imperial now for a little while. And we're very excited about this summer school activity that's built up. It's a fantastic opportunity for us to share with a wider audience what it is that excites us about data science and AI. So, next slide, just a little bit about this. Um, so, as you know, this is a 2-week program, and we divide this up into a couple of different kind of pieces of the puzzle. And then there's a project at the end, which is the part that I'm most excited to talk about. So, I'll get through this quickly so that I can tell you what that looks like, because we just did that for a winter school, and it was a terrific success. So, the beginning of this is just to kind of go through the basics, to think about, you know, how do we think about what data science is? And I'll just give you a little bit of a kind of preview. For us, data is anything we learn from, and the science of it is, where does it come from? How's it made? How do we make it something we can learn from, and how do we learn from it? And that's why we call this data science and AI, because the how we learn from it is obviously where you start to get into machine learning, and how it is that there's a natural handoff between the things that you do, not only just to get and transform your data so that you can use it with machine learning models, but so that you understand it deeply enough that you're not learning garbage from whatever it is that you have. So that's super important. And then, of course, there's different varieties of this that you would look at. So you think about problems in supervised machine learning, frequently with computer vision or images. That I'll come to that in a minute when we talk about um, the project. Natural language processing, all that we now do with really generative AI, which is kind of an evolution beyond the tools of natural language processing, but we cover kind of where we came from, how we got to where we are, and what we can do now. Thinking about what it means to be an entrepreneur in the context of data. We like to think about data entrepreneurship and what it means to do things that are, even if you're not starting a company, something that's really innovative and new. Of course, the underlying mathematical foundations that help us really produce not only the data that we need that's cleaned up, but then also the insights from it. And then finally, as you see when you come, and you can see in this picture, we have a really cool data observatory facility where we do a lot of visualization and host people from all over the world to come and spend time with us learning from data. Along the way, of course, you're going to be doing project in teams, and you understand the importance of learning how to communicate about what you do. So the next slide, please. And in the second week, we take all those foundations and we push them a step further to think about kind of the broader picture of how all this gets used. So you know how to do this stuff. Do you know how it shows up in generative AI? We explain, how the foundations have evolved to give us the capabilities that we're seeing now. We think about kind of sequence completion rather than simple classification, or learning of patterns that you would find in data. Practical aspects, including privacy and ethics, how it is that you can fix your data by learning and on the data, so that you're using the kind of distributional properties of the data to correct what's there. And then how we also see the links to the world of cyber and cryptocurrency type things in particular. And then next slide, please. So the project I promised to talk about. So this is something that spans the 2 weeks. It's hard. I will just acknowledge. But the way that we approach this is to say, rather than you do every bit of coding yourself, we're embracing the whole vibe coding scene and saying, let's see what you can do with these new methods that are available. And so we now have a project whereby you get some images of a skin, some that has lesions, some that doesn't. You're trying to figure out, like, where in the image is there a lesion. If I have a region that's identified as having a lesion, how much should we be concerned about that, and how well can we predict what a physician would have done using some machine learning? And then can we use generative AI to actually write a really nice summary of all of that, so that you have, from end to end, putting your data set together, building a model that does some learning, explaining what you've learned, and putting it into a practical delivery. So the communication and storytelling that I mentioned just a little bit ago becomes really important there. And one of the things that I can say we have from experience of doing this is that it's all well and good to get your favorite large language model or your favorite, coding assist large language model tool to do something for you. But if you don't understand what it's done and can't address it, it's pretty awkward when you're answering questions at the end. So that's how we view this as all coming together. We want ourselves to use these tools and make the most of them, but of course to be able to stand behind them. And if you come to the summer school, you'll have a great experience that will give you a chance to do both. It won't be the old school way of doing it. It'll be pretty new school, but you will end up being able to stand behind your work, and that's exciting for us.
Thank
And
you
that's it
very
for me.
much. Yep. Thank you very much, Mark. I do remember some of the students from the winter and summer school last year and the winter school this year saying that how much they enjoy actually working on the project as well, and not realize that actually what they can achieve in such a short time frame. So thank
By the
you
way, that's what's so
again.
great about this whole experience. And I
Yeah.
remember this from being a student myself. We ask you to do things that seem impossible, and you think, well, they asked me to do it. It must be possible, and it is possible. But
Yeah,
it's pretty cool
exactly.
to experience it.
Thank you. Okay, so next is the Design Engineering for Innovation Summer School. And if you want to stand out as a creative problem solver, an innovation leader, this program will equip you with mindset, tools, and hands-on experience to turn your ideas into impactful solutions, skills which is highly valued across industry, technology, and entrepreneurship. And I'm delighted to introduce you to Dr. Panfei Mi, Honorary Researcher at the Dyson School of Design Engineering and Director of the Summer School. And over to you, Panfei.
Thank you, Betty. It is always my delight and pleasure to work with lifelong learning team at Imperial College, and particularly on delivering design engineering for innovation summer school. So the summer school is planned and delivered by academics at Dyson School of Design Engineering as the department's flagship lifelong learning program. Design engineering is the youngest engineering department. And so we got asked a lot the question, what is design engineering? And what is this summer school about? So we believe design engineering is a fusion of design thinking, engineering knowledge, and practice within the culture of innovation and enterprise. Design engineers are problem solvers who bridge the gap between traditional engineering and design to create innovative solutions to modern challenges. So with this context of design engineering in mind, it could help us understand the key deliverables. If we could go to the next page, please. The key deliverables of the program. And so that would include general and innovation skills, creativity and innovation methods, leadership, design ideation and communication tools, entrepreneurship, and presentation skills, and also cutting-edge learning topics such as AI and data-centric innovation, innovation case studies, interactive system design, AI programming, and fast prototyping, and so on. Of course, there will be also specific application domains, including sustainable well-being, sustainability entrepreneurship, design for fun, design for future. So when it comes to the planning model of the summer school, we make sure that it balances between theoretical learning and hands-on prototyping. It covers innovation insights from the latest research and also empowers students' personal development ongoing. The summer school identifies sustainability as the learning theme and also explores the insights of potential on entrepreneurship. Is it okay to go to next slide, please? So in week 2, students are continued to be introduced to the interactive learning on design-led innovation with tutorials. We already established design engineering as a highly creative discipline, which integrates knowledge of ideation, manufacturing techniques, product development, technical design, and rapid prototyping to bring new innovations to market and also to improve existing products and the processes used for making them. So the students are also encouraged to enhance their communication skills through teamwork and presentation. But hopefully these lovely photos are able to give you a taste of the interactive lectures, workshops, and the team presentation over the 2-week summer school. So we really try to offer the same learning experience for our summer school students as the design engineering students by committing the same teaching resources, including lecturing and workshop supports. So in last year's summer school, we found out that the supporters we actually engaged with outnumbered the summer school students for the delivery of the highest quality possible. So it is our objective to provide an insightful and enjoyable learning experience for all of our summer school students. To summarize, on behalf of the Design Engineering for Innovation Summer School, I'd like to warmly welcome all students who are passionate about learning design-led innovation and want to create positive impact through innovation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pemfei. I do recall actually your students from the last summer school, some of the prototype that they actually create from the design was quite amazing. Again, within such a short time frame, they actually using the facility at Dyson to create a prototype, which is quite impressive. So thank you very much again, Pemfei. So next, security and resilience are now kind of critical priorities across government, industries, healthcare, energy, and technology. And early exposure to this fast-growing interdisciplinary field, spanning risk management, policy, public policy, or cybersecurity and climate resilience, will give you that strong competitive edge in an increasingly uncertain world. And I will now hand over to Professor Washington O. Chen to introduce the emerging technologies in global security and resilience summer school. And over to you, Washington.
Thank you very much, Betty. I am delighted to be here to welcome our students or our future students and also to introduce this summer school to you. Just to say that I'm actually coming to you from the London Excel, where we have a global meeting here, global conference on space. And so you will see, therefore, that the problems we are facing today include also how we deal with our critical national infrastructure, including space. So let's go to the next slide, please. So put simply, the world is facing lots of challenges at the moment. You can see from that pentagon there what I call the threat vectors. And so the threats that we face come from those 5, but they are increasingly happening together, which means that as they conspire together, they are even creating more and more unsafe, a more insecure, and a less resilient world. So if you are interested in protecting humanity, you are interested in protecting the planet, and you are interested in protecting not just the planet itself, but its existence within the galaxy from a security and resilience perspective, then this program is for you. So it is a unique opportunity for you to explore the full range, the full spectrum of security and resilience challenges, and to understand the role of these emerging technologies in helping address them. So you heard earlier about AI, for example. AI is a good thing, but AI could also be misused. So we'll be looking at things like not just how AI can help us with enhancing security, but also its usage. So if you're wondering what security is, it is when an event that we don't want causes a threat. And what we'll be doing within the security ambit is to try to detect those events and avoid them. Now, inevitably, there will be breaches of security. And when that happens, resilience kicks in. Now, resilience answers the question, can we minimize the damage in terms of impact, but also for how long we have it? So how quickly you can recover. So this program gives you a holistic view of what we call societal resilience, which effectively means that when security breaches occur, we can actually recover quickly with minimum damage. So in week one, we will introduce you to the fundamentals of security and resilience from a science and technology perspective. So we'll introduce you to the threat vectors there, the threat landscape, which you will see in the second slide. And all of this will have a group project where you work together on a clearly defined security and resilience challenge. That will be a thread right through the 2 weeks. We will then introduce you to cybersecurity systems, how we have cyber physical and cyber physical systems. We'll bring in some of the connecting technologies like Internet of Things. We'll then go on to the sensing and detecting. So what types of technologies exist for detecting and sensing? And we will look at that within the context of our critical infrastructure. As I said earlier, we will go into space, right? We will also look at transportation systems, energy systems, communication systems, and so on. And then we'll look more specifically on day 5 on technology. So you can see there AI, machine learning, and other emerging technologies, their risks and their responsible use. So next slide, please. So in week 2, we will then be delving into the physical aspects of that vector I showed you. So chemical, biological, radiological, nuclear, and explosives, what we call CBRNE. Those are the physical threats. We will then look in day 7, or on day 7, on global security and resilience challenges, again building on the space as a critical infrastructure to look at the others. The UK, for example, has 14 critical infrastructure sectors. So you may be asking, if you're not from the UK, what your critical infrastructure sectors actually are. We'll then look at the multi-hazard side of it. So this idea that these threat vectors are conspiring together to create even more trouble, and how we look after those in terms of modeling and prevention. And it says there on day 10, you will then have been working for those 10 days on your group project, and we will invite you to make presentations to an invited panel of experts who will then deliberate and give you feedback and so on. Now, we are not just going to be working hard, we are going to be playing hard in terms of the social side of it. We will enjoy ourselves while we're doing it. So we are planning a range of activities for you, including a cruise on the River Thames. We may even go on the London Eye and other very nice monuments that you're able to see, including the museums, the Science Museum, for example. So I leave you with the 2 figures there, the 2 diagrams. You can see on the one hand, a very sophisticated threat landscape diagram. That is telling you how threats are conspiring together, directly, indirectly, to cause problems. If you find that a little bit difficult to comprehend, then we'll say we will save the planet by working on the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. We are just about to add SDG 18, which will be on sustainable use of space. So thank you very much. I really look forward to welcoming you to Imperial and to tackling this thing that is actually critical to the survival of the human race. So thank you very much, Barry. Back to you.
Thank you so much, Washington, for also making the time out from the conference to speak to the students. And I also want to echo that we actually have organizations coming to us and ask is there they are struggling recruiting students with the security and resilience skill set. So I'm pretty sure that if you do the summer school, it will really substantially enhance your CV when you apply for jobs. Okay, so thank you, Washington, again. So next is the Imperial-RCA Design for Global Challenges Summer School. And this program is ideal for students who are passionate about creative problem solving and social impact. And by combining service design thinking with real-world global challenges, you will develop future-focused skills sought after in sustainability, innovation, and product development. And I'm very pleased to introduce you to Dr. Susan McCoy, co-director of the summer school, who will tell you more. And over to you, Susan.
That's great. Thanks so much, Betty. I appreciate it. And even hearing all the other professors speak about their programs makes me think, wow, I'm so excited just to be even part of this overall group. I'd almost love to go back and be part of the, be a student on all the other summer schools as well. There's so much to learn out there. So thank you very much for asking me to participate and to speak about my program here. So for a little bit of a background, you're hearing, first of all, yes, my accent is American, but I've lived over in London for, I think, 16 or so years at this point. But I have really a mix of a technical background and a business background. So both MBA and a PhD in data-driven topics and so forth. But I've actually been teaching on this program for several years. And then last year became program co-director of this. So really excited to step into this. And we had a great time last year. And I'm going to tell you more about the whole program. So next slide, please. So as Betty mentioned, so it's really, you see this in the title, it's Imperial-RCA. So it's a program combined and jointly delivered by Imperial and the Royal College of Art. So it's a very different program in that sense, very exciting, and it's looking at these global challenges and specifically using service design thinking to address these global challenges. So there are three main ones that we're looking at, and you can see them listed here: climate change, global health, and cybersecurity. So of those within the Sustainable Development Goals, looking at those from a service design perspective. So I'll talk more about the breakdown of the days with Imperial and RCA, but it's very much, we're going to get content of learning about these three different topics, even to address them from kind of world-class experts that teach on these topics. And then we're going to then have these team-based projects that you will use and work towards with your classmates. So applying the design thinking that you learn about to these real world problems. But then in addition to that, so it's not just that, it's learning about entrepreneurial innovation, about data science, robotics. We're going to have a visit to the Data Observatory also. Mark Kennedy spoke about the Data Science Imperial. So you get a little bit of a taste of different aspects, as well as it has been mentioned, you need to be able to have effective communication. So being able to talk about what you're learning and what your proposals are with your classmates as well. One thing that is a little different on this program is that it is much more about the service design thinking and creative aspects of applying that. And while, yes, many of the students that we have on this are technical, there are different requirements for this one, meaning you don't have to have an engineering degree for this one specifically or in that type of topic. So we have much more, say, diverse range of backgrounds in this specific program. But great, next slide, please. So as mentioned, because it's jointly delivered between Imperial and the Royal College of Art, the fantastic thing is that if you look at a map of London, Imperial College in South Kensington and Royal College of Art, which is just south of the river, is only maybe, I don't know, 1.5 to 2 kilometers apart from each other. So you're going to be spending time at both of them. And it's, well, also feels really exciting because also I live not far from these areas. So just being able to come across to both sites makes it exciting. So we'll be spending 6 days based at Imperial with many of these different activities and hearing from lecturers about these specific topics. And then when you learn that, then it's going over and spending 3 days at the Royal College of Art, specifically about the service design thinking. We learn about personas, user needs, benefits, motivations, and drivers, and really helps us to break down the problem itself, which is an exciting aspect, at least in my mind, it really is. So alongside that, we're going to be having development of your personal professional skills. Again, these are all interactive workshops, team building. And as has been said with many of the other programs, there are other social sides of these programs that we have as well. Going out in London and having different activities, the design museum, tours in London and so forth. But this is very much a program which is much more multidisciplinary around the research community. So if that at all sounds interesting to you, I'm just going to put in a plug and say we had a fantastic time last summer, and I hope you'll apply to the program for this coming summer as well. But great, happy to hand it back over to Betty.
Thank you so much, Susan. I also kind of echo what Susan was saying, that I mean this this summer school you get like to learn at the Imperial site and also the Royal College of Art, which is the #1 art college in the world. So that is quite a unique opportunity, and also I just also mentioned that this summer school, it will you don't need any technical experience or studying any engineering subject. This summer school is very multidisciplinary. So basically, students studying any kind of degree are very welcome to join the summer school, because you'll be working on a project, and it's great to actually have the multidisciplinary students in there to work on these kind of global challenge projects. So thank you, Susan, again. So finally, the start of Launchpad Summer School. So whether you already have a business idea or want to join a team and build one from scratch, this program will give you the opportunity to test, refine, and validate a real venture and developing your entrepreneurial skills that are invaluable in any career. So to share more, I'm delighted to hand over to Dr. Gregory Thayo, who's a passionate entrepreneur and a senior professorial fellow at Imperial Business School. Greg, over to you.
Thank you, Betty. And I echo what Susan said. What a fantastic menu of opportunities. And forget just wanting to. I think I'm going to sign up. This sounds fantastic. So thank you for inviting me. I am a serial entrepreneur. And what that means in my terms is that I've ridden the entrepreneurial journey several times, both for positive outcomes and for great learning experiences too. I'm joined by Andrew Humphreys as well. I don't know if Nick, if you're able to make Andrew available, but Andrew, if you could introduce yourself too. He and I are kind of co-developers of this summer school. And so, Andrew, are you available?
Yeah, I'm here, Gregory, and I often refer to Gregory as a partner in crime. You know, we're both entrepreneurs. We've been through the therapy and excited to help other people become entrepreneurs as well.
Well, so Andrew and I, we do a lot more kind of coaching and kind of leading people through this entrepreneurial journey more than lecturing and sightseeing. So it's a lot more of you bringing your ideas. And Andrew, I don't know about you, but I don't think there's a hotter global idea right now than entrepreneurship and startups. What's your thoughts on that?
I think you're absolutely right. And I think so many people are seeing entrepreneurship as a career path where they perhaps weren't before. And of course, you know, that's fine. But how do we get there? So many entrepreneurs seem to get there by accident. And as you and I know, it is something that you can teach. You can take that raw energy that people have and apply the sorts of processes that we discuss in our entrepreneurship programs, and allow them to come up with better ideas, refine their ideas quicker, create actual teams and products, and launch them to see if they can work. And that's exactly what we are doing at the Startup Launchpad Summer School.
Well, and thanks, Andrew. And I completely agree. And Andrew and I are we're partners in crime, and we really click on a lot of levels. But we also have complementary skill sets. So one of the things we do is we help you develop a team around your idea. You can bring your own idea, or you can find other people with like ideas. Andrew's the best at bringing teams together. He really understands chemistry, and he also is really good at kind of customer engagement and really developing the ideas. I mean, I click in a little bit after that, and as an engineer, my focus is more on how do you develop a minimally viable product, and how do you make sure you can cover your costs with your idea, and then Andrew and I both are, we've done a lot of pitching ourselves, and so we help you with pitching. So if you could talk a little bit about team development and coaching, Andrew, because I think those are things that you are just a star at.
Sure. So, I mean, the interesting thing is finding your tribe, finding the complementary skills that you need. You may be a great commercial person, you might be a great coder or a developer, you might be really good at marketing or design, but actually a great company, a great startup needs a mix of all of those things. So, and of course, you all want to be passionate about the same core idea. So how do you come together with people with complementary skills, create a vision, and then start working on something that you can all be passionate about? Because ultimately, if you're going to create a business, and many businesses these days need some kind of investment, if you're going to create an investable business, you kind of the thing that people are really interested in is the core team that is going to make that happen. So, you know, the idea of understanding what the components of the team are and how you're going to work on, first of all, generating an idea that could turn into a business, and then moving it through these stages together, so that you can become an investable company is really what we're aiming at the beginning.
Yeah, I very well said. And I want us to, you know, let people have questions and answer those questions. But this is the slide you're seeing is just a taste of what this journey is about, and it truly is a journey. I mean, we're not going to take you the whole way to being running a unicorn company, but we're certainly going to help you get it launched. And that's why this idea of a launchpad, startup launchpad. So bring your ideas, find like-minded people. Will help you with some of the steps along the way, and really help you launch your ideas. So with that, Betty, thank you very much. And we're open for questions, and we'd love for you to join us this summer with the Startup Launchpad.
Thank you so much, Greg and Andrew. And a very big thank you to all our speakers for the overviews. As you have seen, each of our summer schools offers quite a unique opportunity to deep dive into pressing global challenges, gain practical skills, and connect with experts in the field as well. So I would now like to open the floor to your questions. So whether you are curious about the program content, the application process, accommodation, or anything else, please feel free to ask. We're here to help. So please pop your questions into the Q&A box, or you can also just speak or raise your hand and speak through Teams as well. And we'll answer as many questions as we can. And I'm going to hand over to Nick Gibbons, who will going to help me to facilitate the Q&A session.
Brill. Thank you very much, Betty. Greatly appreciate it. And thank you everyone for presenting. They all sound absolutely fantastic. We will start off with just a few direct questions that we've been asked about individual programs. Then I have one for you, Betty, which you'll probably be able to answer. And then I'll swing a few just to each of the academics, just so you can answer a little bit more about your courses. So first for Mark, just wondering for your program, what are the knowledge prerequisites?
That's a good question. You know, if you've done a lot of coding before, you would find it easier than if you haven't done any. but we are going to teach you how to generate code with an LLM, so coding isn't a prerequisite. You might also wonder about math and statistics. It's good to be a maths student. So if you're if your education is, I haven't really taken maths, this is probably not the course for you, but you don't have to have achieved a certain level of maths to do this. We are relying on you understanding concepts rather than being able to kind of do out the long form versions of the stuff. So that's the way the course is constructed. I hope that answers the question.
Yeah, cool. And just a follow-on question. So someone's doing their undergraduate in management and finance, but they're working towards and looking forward to switching their master to data science. Is it possible to join your summer school?
Yes, it is. So when I say it's good to be a math student, I don't mean that you need to have, be doing a maths undergraduate, but you would, if you sort of stopped at some point doing maths in secondary school, this is probably not the course for you.
Brilliant. Thank you. Peng Fei, so as an industrial engineering student, would I gain more from design engineering or from innovation, design engineering for innovation, or from the strategic engineering course?
What a good question. I think in the ideal world, the answer is yes to both. And I can speak for the summer school that I direct, which is Design Engineering for Innovation. So this is focused on a balance between divergent thinking and convergent thinking, i.e. both creativity and innovation in the context of entrepreneurship. So if you are looking to broaden your views, your understandings of existing subjects, and looking to explore more about domains of creativity, application, prototyping, this could be your good choice. And on the other summer school is run by one of my colleagues, Alexander, and he's not here, so I can also vouch for his program. So this is a very strategically aimed for engineering students. So if you are really looking into further developing your engineering skills, mindset, and toolboxes, this is a good program. So that if you will be a very qualified engineer in future career development. I hope that answers part of your question, and please feel free to get in touch to both of us via email. There is contact detail on website to discuss more.
Yeah, and also just following on for that, if you did want to find out more about that strategic engineering course, Alexander did participate in our first information session, and that recording is on our website. So if you want to find out any more, you can find it out there. Another question about knowledge prerequisites. This one's for you, Washington. Just wondering what the knowledge prerequisites are for the Security and Resilience Program.
Thanks very much, Nick. The Security and Resilience Program is bringing the world together. And if you look at the Pentagon and you look at the threat vectors, you will see that there's cyber, physical, social, environmental, and natural. And so it's open to all. We're all trying to work together to make a more secure and resilient world. And therefore, we need expertise in every vector. So please think of it this way, because there's another question on, is it a cybersecurity program? The answer would be yes. But if you think about it, what happens when your health service is being cyber attacked while at the same time there is a pandemic? What do you do then? So we are trying to answer those sorts of questions in our summer school. So it's open to all.
Brilliant. Thank you. Susan, do you have something to say?
Yes, it was about the Design for Global Challenges program as well. That I know that we've been speaking to many of the directors about the prerequisites. And while we said that for my program that there are no technical prerequisites, we do have engineers on the program as well. So just mentioning that it's not that it's a completely non-technical, that you won't be having any of those aspects, but it's very multidisciplinary. So just mentioning that to others. But I think, yeah, Washington's program about cybersecurity does really, it sounds very interesting. And also thinking we do have a speaker in ours on cybersecurity as well. So I like the topic. But that's great. That's all I wanted to add about prerequisites or technical, non-technical aspect of the Design for Global Challenges program. Thanks.
Fantastic. Thank you. Betty, for you, what are the deadlines for applications? Is it compulsory to give the IELTS? And also, when will sample timetables be available?
Yeah, so in terms of deadline for application, I think at the moment we haven't set a solid deadline yet, but I just want to highlight that our summer school, most of our summer school can only take a maximum of 50 students, 50. So this means that the places do go quickly. The reason also why we limit the number of students on our summer school compared to some of the summer school other universities are running is that we want to make sure the students get the best out of it, a really quality experience while they're here. And the summer schools are also very interactive. So with a kind of smaller cohort size, students will get far more out from our expert during the program. So as Susan actually said, the sooner you apply, the better, because the places do go quickly. In terms of the question about the IELTS, so if you are currently studying a degree that is not currently taught in English, then we will, or if you are not a native English speaker, then we will require the IELTS qualification to make sure that you can follow the sessions, because all the sessions are being taught in English. So we need to make sure that you can follow and understand as well. So I see there's a question about timetable. So the timetable will be available closer to the time. And anyway, all students when they sign up to a summer school, they will be sent the joining information at least I think 2 or 3 weeks before the start of the summer school. But to give you some idea of the time, we will most of the timetable will start from 9 a.m. in the morning and finish at around 5 p.m. But there will be afternoons that we will kind of block it out, where all the summer schools cohort students will come together for social activities. There are actually several social events that are all built into the summer school. So one thing that I also want to highlight that no matter which summer school that you you sign up to, you get a chance to meet students from all the summer school that are happening, because they're all running at the same time. And for example, on day one when you arrive, we have a kind of welcome networking reception, bringing all summer school students together, and the social activities are all together as well. And on the last day as well, after your final day presentation, we've also kind of put together a really fun, fantastic barbecue celebration lunch, again, where you can all come together and meet students from all other summer schools.
Cool. So just to confirm, the question's been asked again. If they're studying English, they don't need to take they don't need to do the IELTS. And another person asking, is the Duolingo test acceptable?
Duolingo test. Actually, I'm not exactly sure, but I think we'll try to find out and then get back to you on this one.
Yeah. And finally, Betty, what is the age range for the summer schools?
So you need to be 18 or over. So minimum age is 18. So on the start date of the summer school, you have to be 18 years old or above.
Brilliant. Thank you. So I did have a question for the Startup Launchpad team. So how would you say your summer school prepares students for their emerging careers in sort of an interdisciplinary field that is so rapidly developing. I mean, if you're opening a startup, obviously you're going to be dealing with a lot of interdisciplinary things. How would you say your summer school prepares people for that?
So I think that's a really great question. Actually, it's fascinating because entrepreneurship as a discipline is really valued inside many large corporations. And I think having an understanding of how innovation and entrepreneurship works, how you can start new businesses often inside large organizations is really powerful. Plus, all of the skills that you learn, particularly in presenting and pitching towards the end of the summer school, is really incredibly valuable as part of your career. So more and more corporates and companies are looking for people with these entrepreneurial attributes and understanding how entrepreneurship works, so that they can, put them in perhaps their innovation teams or in their, venture building teams as well. And actually, entrepreneurship is surprisingly quite a rare skill. So if you have that skill set and you know the tools, which includes some of the things that actually, and again, I agree, I'd like to study some of these other summer schools. Some of the things like design thinking and innovation, coding, we've talked about vibe coding. All of those things come together in entrepreneurship, and having access to those skills makes you valuable as an employee, as well as potentially maybe going on to start your own business at some later point. So it's a super valuable skill set to have.
Anything to add on to that, Gregor?
Well, I've heard entrepreneurship talked about as one of these essential skills for the future, kind of like being able to work in a team or being able to speak clearly with public speaking, and so entrepreneurship is really being seen as a basic life skill, and so I think that really supports everything that Andrew said.
Brilliant, thank you. So I've got one for Betty, and then one for you, Susan, and then one for you, Pengfei. Betty, just to confirm, when someone is applying, do they apply as the last year completed, or what year, well, what semester, well, what year they'll be entering when they're in the upcoming semester?
So I would say, if I'm understanding the question correctly, so if you have completed your undergraduate degree, you are very welcome to apply, because we do get graduates to sign up to our summer school. So please do apply.
Cool. So someone's just bumped this question real quick. So what should, for Mark, what should people be prepared with in order to come and join the data science program?
Yeah, thank you. I saw that in the chat. So I would say, in terms of being prepared, it would be good to have seen a little bit of computer science. If you've taken like an introductory programming course, that would help, but it's not required, but it would help you. We do some things that in the curriculum are like, machine learning, where we're going into how that is done and using the language that you would see in courses on that. So we're doing it relatively quickly. We've had people who are coming without a ton of background who are able to absorb this, but with some background, you'll understand it faster. I'd say the minimum would be that you are not maths phobic. And if you have seen enough of statistics to understand some of the basic language of statistics and how that gets used, and then the algorithms that we will walk you through that are learning from data. And can I add one thing about the entrepreneurship thing? I was at a reception this morning for Imperial. We're opening an area in a part of London that we call now the West Tech Corridor that is for scaling up startups. And with the discussion from the thing today was that we had one of the companies that's been invested in was initially founded by a person who wanted to do this at, guess the age. Well, it turns out it's the minimum age you have to be for this course, 18. So you're never too young to do this stuff. I don't think you're ever really too old if you really are up for it. So, and you're going to find that there's a very entrepreneurial vibe across this whole summer school experience.
Amazing.
Thank you
Yes.
very much.
I also
Sorry, go
want to
ahead.
add about the mention about the Startup Launchpad Summer School. It is also very suitable for postgraduate and even PhD students as well, because often PhD students, they're working on a technology or something that they might want to kind of commercialize into a business. So feel free to also sign up to this summer school. So it's not just for undergraduate, but postgraduate, PhD, or even graduate who recently graduated from the your degree. But actually, I'm thinking if I want to start a business, I want to learn how do I go about in doing that. So the Startup Launchpad will be perfect for you as well.
Thank you. I'd say we have time for maybe 2 more questions. So firstly, for you, Susan. So in what way would you say that coming to your summer school will support people in the next stage of their academic, research, or career journey?
Well, as we all know, even having either just technical skills or business skills or some other skills on their own are not enough. It's really communicating even within your team, working together as a team, and that's very helpful. And so developing that, but also this specifically is on the side of service design thinking, which is then about breaking down a problem and looking at how you can come up with your prototypes and thinking about that within the team. And I think, so when you think about how is it going to help them in the next stage of their work, even though it's not specifically the kind of the main goal, I think many people will find in their career working across disciplines and communicating with other people that have a background different than their own specialism is something that's often underestimated in terms of how valuable it would be. So, and also we're going to have fun on our program. So I'll say that. But thank you.
Brilliant. And finally, one question for Pengfei. So what do you think the key innovations and topics in this discipline, what do you think that those will be that students will be most excited to explore during your summer school?
Well, this is a very good question, and I could put on a very long list of the subjects I personally find inspiring and could be useful for the students. However, I think there should be a few highlights. One would be AI-related subjects, because we cannot ignore AI. We cannot ignore us not knowing AI in depth anymore. But we do need to know proper AI, how to use it, what it's about, and all the ethics around it as well. So this subject I would highly recommend. And also the practical hands-on prototyping sessions, which I found it's very amazing that how easily it can be overlooked. It's very straightforward sometimes sessions, but it's powerful, breaking the gap between theoretical learning alone and achieving something physical, fast, but effective. So I would also highly recommend those practical sessions, not only on my program, but all other programs as well.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And that is all the time we have for questions now. Thank you very much, everyone, for answering. That was awesome. Over to you, Betty.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you all the speakers for answering the questions, and also thank you to you all for asking all these questions in chat as well. The more, the better. So, so whether you're looking into enrich your academic journey, explore future career paths, or want to experience a world-class learning environment, our summer school do offer a fantastic opportunity for you to take the next step. And if you want to find out more about our other summer school that we haven't covered today, you can also watch the recordings of our previous information sessions that were back in January and February on our website. And you will also find the full program details and registration information there as well. So finally, I want to say a big Thank you, a huge thank you to all our speakers for sharing their insights, and to all of you for joining us today, and also to Nick and also to Steve helping out in setting up this webinar. We can't really wait to welcome you to Imperial this summer and to see you explore, learn, and connect in what promises to be an unforgettable experience. So that concludes our session today, and thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you soon at one of our summer schools. Thank you very much.